Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw tips and tricks, and somebody sent me this, and if I understand them right, they want this. Couple things. This is a real font, but it is jagged, and if that's acceptable, well then go with it. But that is a jagged, and I thought, man, so I actually went to DA Fonts and found it, so I would have it, and I did this. And I might make a second video on how you could clean this particular font up, because it is pretty a unique font. If you look at it just in straight, I need to do all caps. If you just do straight letters, and I think it's Ming and Bling, sometimes Corel makes you do this. So it's a pretty cool font. Let's just test it. I've already tested it on the deal, but it is a transparent font, but it's just rough. You know, who am I to say that that's not intentionally? So how did I take this and go to this? I'm hoping for the young lady that's what she wanted. I'm going to leave that font because we're going to need it in just a second. And this is a font too. It's Wingding. I've never seen color, but we can change the arrow and get the color back with the transformation or the attribute eyedropper. We can take a sample of that and redo that exact color. So we're not worried about that, but this is a font. So what we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to make a duplicate of it all and set it over there. And I'm going to take this font and I'm going to, it is a font, even though it's an arrow, and convert it to a curve. Then I'm going to left click, right click. Well, I didn't have to right click it, but I'm going to make it a hairline. Now, I'm not very artistic to make this swoop. There are several ways to do it. You know, you've already got a part of it done. You know, maybe you could just swoop it up. That's not how I did mine, but you can see that worked. I actually put 2 circles. I think that came out pretty good. So just let me go over that. Some people say I go too fast. I'm going to grab as many nodes as I can without destroying or getting that node right there. And then I'm just going to go straight up. I am changing the angle of it, but once I delete these 2 nodes, it's giving me a curve, and there's probably, let's see what happens when we delete that. Nope, nothing. Nothing, we're good. And I think maybe, let's pull it up a little bit more. Still look pretty good. Now I would maybe, on that, put a tail on it. So what we could do is maybe double click and add a node and take this one away. And then just kind of make that as sharp as you want. I'm just moving the nodes. Now, this one I moved and it moved the bottom part. So you want to be careful on that. Whenever you want to do that, take this, right click and turn it into a cusp. And then when you move that, the other one doesn't move. That doesn't look that bad. Let's see what it looks like when we delete that. And you could play with that because you could still, you know, that might even look better still. You know, it might go a little bit too thick to thin. You know, we could stretch this out, you know, and do whatever you want to with it. You can make it a little bit thicker. So let's go with that. Now we need to, she was actually, if you look at hers and I take the envelope tool, she was actually trying to use the envelope tool. No, that's mine. This is hers. I was having trouble earlier, but see, she's got the envelope tool. And that's a possibility, but it's a text. So we can use text to path, but we need to make a good path. So we're going to get that path. So I made a duplicate. I'm going to take that one right there and break it apart, and that one right there and break it apart, And then I can delete that, and I have the path. Now we can take the path itself, or the text itself, and go to text to path, and put it on that path. You know, it's such a straight turn that it's going to be hard, but we can take the shape tool now and, you know, bring it in, or try to anyway. Doesn't seem like it's working. It might be too strong of a path, even though I just did it and it looks pretty good. So let's try a couple of different things. You could always take the shape tool and move stuff around. I moved it too much. You know, you might just have to hand move these, and you can actually kind of rotate that later. Let me get the R back in a little bit. So what we can do is go up here and go to text, and well, we can go to object, and tell you what, let's do this. We need to break the text off the path, break text apart. Now I go up to object. I'm just going to Control K, which should break our text. No, I'll tell you what, I'm going to move it over, and then go Control K. There we go. Now nudge it back. And then with this, I can pick that one T and spin a little bit. You know, put it wherever you want to on that path. That looks pretty good. You know, this is still, you Control K, break it apart. And you could actually, you know, it's almost, instead of using text to path, you could almost do this just like this. Now, because we've nudged, let me get rid of our path. We can nudge this right back. And it'll be, and then you could separate it from the text, or have it on the text. Set the nudge factor of 0.00, well, not that light. Let's go 0.1, and we could nudge that arrow down a little bit. So it's off there. Now all we need to do is take the attribute eyedropper, take a sample of that, and put it in there. That doesn't look half bad. I've already sent you this one. That'll work. Now, she also mentioned she'd want to put some words below it. We'll do the same thing to the bottom side instead of the top side. You can't really use that path because that's the top. But just break it apart like I did before. And I might make part 2 on how I would clean this font up, if you want it precise or sharp. You know, a lot of people, I know a lot of fonts that are rough. Papyrus, for one, is just, let's look at it. One of my daughter's favorite fonts when I do glasses for her, if I can find it. You know, if you can't ever figure out what the, you know, if you change it to a P, and then you could go down to all the P's. I can't remember. No, it's not pristine. I might not even have it on this computer. Anyway, so there's that font right there, and we'll use that bling. And pretty cool font, but I won't use it as an engraver. Evidently, she's not engraving because of the color, so maybe printing. But if you'll stay tuned to part 2, I'm going to clean this up. I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.